How's it going, everybody? My name is Clara Fox Soul, and I'm coming back at you once again with another character lore video. Now, with the recent announcement of Exod Revelator having Raven, I figured today would be also a great time to go ahead and introduce you to the lore of Raven. So without further ado, let's get started right now, shall we? Raven, one of the few people who is truly close to that man. He excels at combat due to no small part to his immortality. While his role in that man's plans is truly unclear, it is known that he manipulates the events around him. By controlling the world's flow of information, no one knows Raven's true history, and his origins have remained a mystery. While he fights for that man is also a mystery, but it has been proven that his loyalty has been absolute. Raven being a true masochist, and in his own words stating, "The closer I come to death, the more I feel alive. We must fight to die in order to truly feel alive." Which has gone to make it seem apparent that the only thing that makes him feel alive is the anticipation of pain. This may be the reason why many needles and spikes protrude from his body. Now, Raven was born in Germany and was genetically immortal. In other words, a natural immortality at birth. He was an accomplished knight and participated in various historical crusades in Germany in the early 12th century. Raven's first death occurred when he and his group of crusaders attempted to retake Jerusalem. While in Egypt, their supplies ran low and they stopped at the captured town. The Sultan army had anticipated their movements and ambushed him. Raven, the only survivor, proceeded to be shot with arrows and stabbed with swords. However, rather than dying, he found himself in a clinical space filled with a window-like mirrors. There, he had a sensation of being caged with birds and felt their stares boring onto him, eventually transforming into the pain of needles piercing him in every part of his body that it was capable of feeling pain. This was described as perhaps the greatest amount of pain a human can possibly experience. His powers presumably have something to do with this clinical space. It's mostly unclear what has happened to Raven at this point, though it is known that after he grew to be around 2,000 years old, Raven had grown to be bored of life since he had lived for so long. Being immortal, at one point, Raven even drove a spike through his forehead out of despair. Though he of course lived, the spike remained there to this day. This is when he met that man, who gave him a long life purpose, presumably be a witness to history. Though it's still unknown exactly how Axel Lowe became Raven in the future, it is explained in one of the story arcs of Guilty Gear XX that some dramatic event will cause him to become the being known as Raven. This event likely will be the cause by his time-shifting ability, which may also explain Raven's ability to move through interdimensional space, which allows him to fight and defeat Faust. The connection between Raven and Axel is not that they are alternate versions of the same person. In Guilty Gear novel, Lightning of the Arctic, Raven shows an unusual battle prowess by essentially ignoring Soul's fire attacks via regeneration, and beating Faust in an interdimensional battle. A recent story chronologically revealed that Raven is an immortal former Norse berserker.